All right, so these topics won't go away, dude. They won't go away. More of the same. Hey, everybody, I don't even have an intro for you. I'm already ready to start ranting. And I can't even finish my food. I'm already to start ranting. Thank you for coming to BDF's channel. I'm a little wild up, but y'all will get used to me. I'm a little off. But I think I'm going to make a little sense here. Follow me. So with all the stuff that's going on, Kanye West wearing the White Lives Matter shirt, everybody looking at the various distractions taking place with different topics that are being floated around. There's a lot going on. Now we got another distraction to pay attention to. Some kids in some random city. I don't even want to bring light to the city or the area and all this stuff because honestly, I just think you'll get where I'm coming from. Basically some kids in some college decided they were going to, in a football hazing situation, simulate a slave auction. Black kids were the slaves, white kids were doing the bidding. Kids were having a great time. And I've seen this so many times in various generations. In my generation, they have some kids do this. You got generations that were a little underneath that did something like this. You see this all the time. Literally do. I'm not going to lie. I've seen enough of this in my life. But nevertheless, it's yet another one of those situations where black kids and white kids are making a light of a situation that offends everybody. Right? Very offensive. It riles us all up. This is where I'm at with conversations such as these. I'm not in the business of reacting to these things the way I'm supposed to anymore. That's where I'm at. I resist the natural reaction to said behavior. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to look at it differently. This is what I'm going to tell you. This is exactly what I'm going to react to it and say. It doesn't make as much sense to me anymore to get mad at my kids or kids that look like me for not being offended at things that I've been offended about all my life. To tell children underneath us to harbor the same anger about subjects that we have been burdened by for so many years. That don't make sense to me anymore. I'm all about telling people to engage in positive energy, good energy that brings them together. If these topics don't do anything but separate people, and what we're essentially trying to do is say, hey, you guys who are having a good time doing whatever it is you're doing, stop so you can look at the problems that have been in place that would make it so that what you're doing is offensive. Stop, look, and pay attention. You got black kids and white kids engaging however they want to, having a good time. Are they offended by either one of them? No. So why am I going to be offended by anything they're doing? I don't care. I just want them to sit there and get along with one another. And it seems like they're doing that. You know when they start not getting along with one another? When people like me start coming in saying, hey, what you're doing isn't acceptable because it represents something that offends me. So? The whole point was to see black people and white people be able to get in a room so that they can be in a place where they have things that offends them and not kill each other about it. Those are things that they should be fighting over. And they're not. Isn't that what it was about? Ain't that what Dr. King was trying to get us to do? We have conundrums that we should not be able to come to any conclusion to but to kill each other over. And those kids have found a way to live in that space without doing that while having those conversations. They're not forgetting about slavery. They're reminding each other of it. They're dealing with it. They're literally dealing with it. Don't you see that? In the midst of all of your offense and all this bad energy and wanting to fight, but not really wanting to fight because there's money involved, so your politics ain't gonna allow you to fight. So you want to say Black Lives Matter, but it really don't matter. But you really want to, you want to fight, but you don't. But y'all been engaging in this. I want to battle, but don't want to battle, but I want to make money, but we got to battle, but confusion in this country for so long to our kids. They don't know how to be mad about some of the stuff that y'all want to pretend to be mad about. They don't know how to be offended by some of the stuff that y'all don't want to deal with. I'm sorry. You haven't dealt with these problems. You've skated around them. You've promoted against them. You've lied to people about who they are and who they're not so that they wouldn't face these issues. And then when these kids go about it and handling it, when they find out what happened and they engage in it in such a way that is ridiculous, because what it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. You took human beings from another country, brought them to an entirely different country that you thought was a different country. You got lost, called the country you thought it wasn't the country it wasn't, or you called it was to the country it wasn't. See how confusing it is to even say what it was that y'all did? And you left all of us with this energy to try to figure out long after y'all done died. Y'all rotting y'all damn graves and left our kids and grandkids to figure out what to do with the energy you left us. This is what they're doing with it. They're making fun of it. It's funny to them because you guys are idiots. Yes, I'm talking to our forefathers. We're morons. You engaged in horrible energy. And you left us to deal with it. We got statues of these guys and all this stuff, these slave owners. And this is what it came to. It didn't turn to what you thought it was. You thought it would turn into a race war. It didn't turn to a race war. Our kids are making fun of all that nonsense. Your suffering and all that stuff, the suffering that it's just funny to our kids. Why? Because this is what happens when you engage in this type of nonsense for 400, 500 years. The lines are blurred. Nah, it doesn't even make any sense. Words like white lives matter and black lives matter offends people. It doesn't make sense. That's the point. That's why your kids can look at it and say, I don't agree with you, old man, because what you're mad about never made any sense to begin with. So you're telling me you did this to these people for 400 years and they're here and they're cool with it? And I'm supposed to be mad, but I'm not? How do I react to what happened there? Obviously, I pick up my gun, start shooting stuff. But I'm not going to do that because that doesn't make any sense. But I'm supposed to be mad, but only to a point. And how far does that go? So I'm supposed to be cool with my brothers, but we ain't supposed to talk about this. He's supposed to be able to say the N-word, but I can't say it because I don't look like him. But I didn't do that to him that he's mad about, but my ancestor did. But that ancestor is also his ancestor because blacks and whites actually made it. So nobody really knows who's related to who. But because he looks black, he's black, so I can't say the N-word. What are our kids supposed to do with that nonsense? What are they supposed to do with that? And you want me to be mad at them because they don't engage in that stupidity? That fake outrage? Are you kidding me? I want our kids to do whatever it is that they're going to do with that history. They don't forget it. That's cool. Just don't forget it. If you want to engage in folly about it, what I'm going to do? I can't do nothing but be happy that you are aware that it took place. That both sides know that this happened. That's it. It happened, y'all. And if y'all can find a way to get along in the presence of it happening, that's a good thing. Because all that energy was meant to do was make us murder each other. That's it. So if our kids find a way not to do that, celebrate it. Celebrate it. Don't bring your bad energy into that. Oh, you're supposed to be offended by each other even though you're not. What are you talking about? You don't even know what you're talking about. It's group thinking. That's the point. If we're not going to deal with the problems, leave our kids to deal with it on their own. Nonsense. We want to be mad at each other, but we don't. That's the point. It's a weird thing because it's not real. It's confusion. It was hatred left for us to deal with. This isn't our fight. It never was. Racism isn't ours. It was passed to us. The resentment of racism and hatred and slavery wasn't ours. It was passed to us. And it's being passed second hand, third hand, and fourth hand to generations in front of us. They don't know nothing about that stuff. It's like dinosaurs to them. Think about it. It's been a long time, man. Hell, the civil rights movement was a long time ago to these kids. They don't know nothing about none of that stuff, man. That's not the world they're in. They don't know a world where they hate each other, where this stuff isn't funny. It's funny. Because they're from a world and an environment where they've always been next to each other. They could always joke about this stuff. It's in the history books, y'all. I hate to tell you this, but we're probably the last offended generation. Because we've made so much of our offense to now it doesn't even make any sense to be offended by much anymore. How are we going to be desensitized watching people die and then be offended by words on somebody's back? What are we doing? Make it make sense. You crave Jeffrey Dahmer, but you also don't want to hear words. What is it? Which is it? You want to promote violence, spin the block, but you expect positivity from the people. What are we doing? Stop this. That's the whole point of Kanye's demonstration with the white lives. It's the point. It's to show all of y'all the same thing I'm saying in regards to this same situation, this different situation here. You're supposed to react to those kids acting that way a certain way, and I just refuse. I'm not going to. What I'm supposed to do is, oh my God, those white kids are racist, and those black kids don't love themselves. Don't they respect what we went through? Don't they? Yes, they do. They do. That's why they're not forgetting it. They do. It's absurd. You treated people like cattle. You should be ashamed of yourselves. You should be made fun of for doing it. The sheer nature of hating somebody for the color of their skin should be made fun of. It should be nothing but funny from here on out. Because y'all took it seriously, you murdered yourselves over each other, for of it, and nothing came of it. Nothing. Y'all ended up related to each other later on. It's just ridiculous. So you're damn right your kids ain't gonna look at it the way you want them to. You shouldn't be looking at it the way you do. This evil was passed to us. It needs to die somewhere. Let it die with that generation. If that's their way of doing it, let it go that way. I'm with it. Make fun of it, do whatever you want with it, but at the end of the day, do not forget, people held people as slaves. They did it in a way that was awful. They made skin, garments, shoes out of people's skin and stuff like that. Do tell that story when y'all make fun of the stories too. Work that in there. That's all I gotta say. More power to the kids, man. How they deal with the problem is probably the way we need to follow. This their world, not ours. This their world. Stop influencing them with your low frequency. Oh, you guys can't get along. You guys shouldn't be able to do this. You should be offended. And what does that lead to? What, is supposed to burn the place down? Then what? Oh my God, you're so insubordinate. You should be working together. That's not what Dr. King stood for. You guys are hypocrites. Let them kids be who they want to be, how they want to be. It's their world. My name is BDL44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.